Hi everyone. This class, week 3, it's going way too fast for the project that I'm trying to do. I am constantly reading, constantly talking to people. I got the opportunity to meet with my TAM. I sent him a few things. I need to actually send him a lot of the papers that I've written in the past. I've studied this topic for a really long time because I knew my husband had a problem with pornography, and it was caused a lot of problems within our marriage. So, and basically, at some points, I did it with him. But I saw how it did not really help our relationship. It actually kind of hindered it in many different ways. But I can go into more details with that. But I see my project as a very big thing that I will take with me as I leave Bay Path. I see it overall becoming an organization that can actually help support people financially for counseling because it's very difficult to get marriage therapy covered under certain insurance plans. Sometimes they're able to put it under one person is the main person, and then you get so many visits in your insurance, and the other person can come, but specifically there's not, and then you have to pay out of pocket. So at one point, my husband and I were paying $100 a visit to go see a particular person whom we really, really liked, but then it got too much financially on us. But so that being said, my TAM, and I've also been working with my church pastor, and then another, actually a totally different church. I've been working with them. My husband and I devising a small talk and workshop for couples. And the most amazing part of this is that my husband, who is very shy and embarrassed by his story, is actually really collaborating with me, and he's on board, and he's like, I'm gonna do it with you. So it'll be interesting. There's not a lot of speakers that are together, so it'll be interesting in how we weave our story. I've been just writing a lot of things down. So, Dignity Reclaimed is what I'm actually calling it, and even the workshops can be called that. But it's about getting real and talking about how pornography actually affects us. And my perspective will be more from body image, because not just body image, but relationship, body image, what I thought of myself, how I don't want to be objectified, but then do actually want to be a sexual object in my husband's eyes. So it's interesting having that dynamic, and I was actually able to discuss that with my TAM, and he thinks this is a great topic because he deals with a lot of couples himself, counseling them, and it's so expansive, which is really difficult when nobody wants to touch it, but he thinks it's very important, especially coming at it the way that I'm coming. You know, he thinks it's going to be healthy to just be talking about it. So that's where I'm at. We're going to be putting together a workshop that will be done at local churches for now, but we're not focusing it on religion. Uh, we're going to weave our story back and forth, and then statistics, because there's actually a really good documentary that watched this weekend, and that really had my husband and I talking, and I actually had to almost admit that, like, pornography affected my life like well before I met him. So it has shaped my ideas of sex, and it even shaped a lot of ideas of my body image. So going back to the name real quick, another thing, my husband and I buy old houses. We don't flip them. We live in them for quite a long time, but our first house was a 1920s craftsman bungalow that we completely restored. We put cedar shakes back on it. Just it looked really nice. We brought it back to like its original condition. Not entirely, but you know, it got kind of wrecked in the 70s, 80s. And then just kind of sat there. Then we actually lived in a very large Victorian that we began restoring, but it was so big, the project took on, so we ended up selling that. So we've lived in this house for 8 years. It's a 1890s farmhouse. So we've been even taking old wood from the barn and using it in a different place. So it does have like a more modern country feel, but we use old materials mixed with new materials and we just reclaim the space. So somehow we're going to work in a lot of scientific research based on pornography addiction, our personal story, and then just weave it into us reclaiming our individual dignity and us reclaiming our relationship. So my TAM and my pastor, as well as a good friend of mine who's amazing at writing, is going to help me put this together. So I not only have my TAM, but I'm starting to develop a team of people because I really realize that this is something big and I know it's a sensitive topic. And even though I have a personal investment in it, I want to also be sensitive to how others feel about it. I don't want to I want this to be a free, open conversation about what people think and feel because I'm definitely not anti-sex, and sometimes that comes across when people become anti-pornography. No, I believe in healthy sexual relationships. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. So, and that also can be reclaimed. And sometimes when you remove something that's clouding your judgment, then your experiences can be even better. So that is where I'm at. So it will be developing into a top, and I'm not, I keep doing these videos on purpose because I feel like I ramble on when I do speech. So that and the Toastmasters Club will help my husband and I, who are not speakers, become speakers. And I also have a question, like, so we have to do a presentation at the end of this. Does anyone know where that entails? Like who we have to do it in front of? Is it just a video? Or are we putting together like so I'm probably gonna try to skip ahead again and reread that part, but I know for a final we have to do that. So if anyone can give me any feedback on that, I'd love that too. And I'm learning so much and I hope you guys are too.